I wanted to talk for just one quick second about that ear canker that we saw in the rabbit's ear with the ear mites, which is going to be your first sign of ear mites, and what to do about the canker itself. So first of all, the canker that we saw in the first video, if you go back to the other video on ear mites, you'll see that I showed it in there. Also encourage you to go over to meterabbits.org and read the article, see the pictures in the article, because I've got some better pictures of some past cases where the canker was more substantial and more obvious. So I actually found this because I was breeding her and I happened to peek in her ear when I had her out. Otherwise, it's such an early case that I probably wouldn't even have seen it. So a lot of times you'll see that canker will come right up. You'll see a scabbing right up through most of the ear. It's often very visible, and it does seem to appear overnight. So sometimes people feel really bad when they find the ear mites and the canker, because they're like, oh my God, like, have I been ignoring my rabbit this long? And honestly, you probably haven't. It's just that, you know, when the ear mites set in, it doesn't take long before they're chewing and that scabbing appears. Some other signs you might look for are redness in the ears, which can be a little hard to tell in rabbits, depending on the breed, because, you know, the insides of their ears do tend to be pink anyway. But if it's pinker, redder, more inflamed than normal, that could mean that you've got a case of ear mites coming on. And honestly, the treatments are so simple and so cheap. Go ahead and do it anyway, even if you suspect it. It's not a bad thing to do anytime you bring new rabbits in, or anytime you're breeding, been to a show, anywhere where there's a new exposure, or even if you know that you had, say, cats, dogs, rodents, if you knew that there were some through the rabbitry, you could go ahead and treat. It's just, you know, there's no harm in it. You're not hurting the rabbits. So I would say go ahead and be liberal in the treatment and prevention of it. So the big thing to know about the canker and that scabbing is that once you start treating, do not try and clean that off. You'll do more damage to the rabbit's ear by trying to clean and pick off that scab. And that scab, you'll be amazed, even with a really severe case, it will be gone in a day, 2 tops. The oil and the treatments will take care of it. The rabbits will clean it. It will fall out of their ears. And you don't need to do anything for it in that regard. So it's important to know that. You know, sometimes you'll read to go, you know, oil it up or clean it up and wipe it out with cotton balls. You really don't need to do that. Some will say that if it's still there after a few days, you can do that. I've just never ever cleaned the rabbits, and if you look at most of the resources, they say not to clean the ears, to let it take care of itself, and you'll be surprised that it really will. It really comes out very easily. So, you know, that's it on the canker. Just wanted to make sure that information got out there, that you don't need to be cleaning those. You can see that this rabbit is in a cage right next to one of the other breeding does, so that doe's getting treated as well. I don't see any signs in her, but again, it's cheap, easy prevention, no big deal, just something we deal with in the rabbit world. So come on over to meterabbits.org, read more about it, see what some other treatment options are, and have a good day. Thank you.